Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And today we have nothing else to do but to review that debate and why that debate was exactly better for Donald Trump than the last debate. So I reviewed the last debate and I determined that it was a tie. Donald Trump did not really do a whole lot other than interrupt Biden, belittle him, make him look weak, but he really didn't do anything that helped him win the debate outright or galvanize undecided voters. However, Trump did energize his base more than Biden energized his base, so I do think Trump did win the debate. But overall, in the eyes of the undecided voters, it was roughly a tie. It was a mess. Even Trump supporters know that that debate was hard to watch. You can't say the same thing about this debate. And this picture I have up on the screen right now is the reaction of CNN post-debate, and that's how you know Donald Trump did well in that debate. They are stone-faced. You can see it within the media. They're doing everything possible to try and discredit Trump. They're picking away at the little things because there's really nothing to attack him on. And it shows. And it's funny because Joe Biden admits Trump won the debate, essentially. He said a slight change of tone from the president for one night doesn't cover up the lies he's told. So even though he's attacking Trump, he's basically admitting that Donald Trump won that debate. And when you make Biden use this rhetoric, it speaks trouble, it makes him look weak, he's cowering down to Trump, and he's admitting he won the debate. Not a good look for Joe Biden. Trump did provide a more reserved tone, and yes, you can thank the new debate format for doing so. Actually, I think Biden interrupted Trump, I think a little bit more than Trump interrupted Biden, but overall, Biden got to speak. He said really nothing of substance. A lot of people were saying that it was vague and not very descriptive. Donald Trump led a more optimistic tone. He talked about uplifting the country, helping us get through the crisis that we're in. And I think that's a much better message. And you look at the undecided voters here. This was a panel focus group of undecided voters. They described Trump as controlled, reserved, poised, a con artist, and surprisingly presidential. So 4 out of those 5 words are positive. They describe Biden tonight as vague, unspecific, elusive, defensive, and grandfatherly. I don't even think any of those words are positive at all. Maybe you could say elusive, but at the same time, elusive and con artist are kind of synonyms, so I really don't want to say that that's a more positive word that people use to describe Biden. So ultimately, you can see that people are not pleased by Biden's debate performances. He's not getting any undecideds either. Donald Trump, however, had a good contrast between this debate and the last debate in terms of how presidential he seemed, and that alone was able to help him win the debate. He didn't have any gaffes. Biden, last debate, really didn't have any either, but this debate, he did have a few, and these few could come back to haunt him. Now, some of Biden's mistakes that he did make were, yes, run-of-the-mill Bidenisms. He did say that the Proud Boys were actually the poor boys. He got that wrong. And he also claimed that Abraham Lincoln was the most racist president in modern history. And yes, he technically was referring to Donald Trump, as Donald Trump said he did more for the black community than any president except Lincoln. However, to the average viewer, it just seemed like a weird jumble of words. And again, Biden expressed his low IQ and lack of knowledge for history when he sat there and he said that America at one point had a good relationship with an evil dictator from 1930s Germany. That is not true. We did not really ever have a good relationship with that guy. So ultimately, Biden doesn't even know history, and he's out here and he wants to be president of the United States. Again, it speaks volumes. You can go back and look at the presidential debate where he said that Winston Churchill was the oldest president in American history. And then he tried to pivot and say it was a joke. Fine, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, whatever. But either way, very out of place, very off-putting to a lot of voters. And I think a lot of the undecideds can see that. This debate definitely was something that helped Donald Trump. And arguably, it would have helped him more if they talked about Hunter's corruption scandal a little bit more. Trump did hit Biden a little bit on that. Biden just responded with a lot of lies that have already been debunked about the whole situation. And it's kind of funny because we're going to have to wait and see what comes out of this laptop thing. But either way, Donald Trump called it the laptop from hell, and we're going to see. But overall, I think that the Hunter Biden thing might just be better for Donald Trump to just keep hammering it in during his campaign rallies, because that's something that will energize his base and potentially could get some people over to his side that really don't want to support Biden because of the corruption thing. And there's a lot of people that feel that way, especially in the Midwest, because people don't like to see this two-tier justice system, one for you and then one for the elites. And you can obviously see this, and that's one of the reasons why Hillary Clinton was so hated. And the more the populist Trump supporters hate Biden, they will be a little bit more motivated to vote against him. But either way, the biggest moment of the debate that shocked a lot of people was when Biden admitted that he does want to get rid of oil. He does want to get rid of fracking. He said, no, we're not going to end fracking. Then he's going to say, phase out fracking, phase out oil in 10 years because it pollutes the environment. And Trump just pounced on him. And the moderator for a second was actually like, wait, Joe, you want to actually ban oil? Even though we know the moderator was biased in favor of him, you could tell the moderator kind of felt bad for his campaign at that point and tried to help him get back on message in terms of oil, but Biden just said, no, get rid of oil because oil pollutes the environment. And Trump was able to pounce on him for that. He said solar energy is inefficient, which it is, even though Trump said he likes solar energy. He called out the wind turbines for causing noise pollution, for killing 300,000 birds a year or more, which is true. So ultimately, it wasn't a very good exchange for Biden, especially in places like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, New Mexico, the places that rely on oil the most. And actually, in New Mexico, you could see this here. New Mexico, in terms of oil, they have 998 wells in the state of New Mexico, and that's a lot of wells. And you can see here in New Mexico, the can I change my vote for the past 24 hours was relatively a flat line, but a lot of that came up, and you saw a lot more people looking up in New Mexico if they could change their vote. So a lot of people who may have voted for Biden, but they still support the oil industry, they're not going to be too keen on him. And you could look at this map here. You look at Texas, you look at New Mexico, you look at Pennsylvania, you look at Ohio, and several other states there, Colorado as well, even though Colorado is not going to be competitive. These states do rely on oil. You saw several representatives, Kendra Horn from Oklahoma's 5th, and then you had the representative in the competitive district in New Mexico that's going to be in a tough fight for re-election, come out and say, Joe Biden, you're wrong, I disavow you on the oil issue. And ultimately, you can see there that because Democrats are distancing themselves from Joe Biden because they know that they have to win, it's not looking good for Joe Biden, especially in places like Texas. Democrats are so delusional. They think they're going to win Texas. It's not true. And at this point, they're not even going to be able to win Florida. And after that first debate, the Republicans came out big today in the in-person early vote, and we'll see where it is tomorrow after Trump's rallies because they did stop counting for the day. And Republicans were down roughly 500,000 in the gap between them and the Democrats in the early vote, which does include the in-person early voting and the vote-by-mail votes. And right now, you can see that that gap has been narrowed by roughly 100,000. Democrats now lead by just 388,000. They're trying to get it to 600,000, 700,000, so they can actually have a shot by Election Day. But Republicans have turned the corner in the in-person early vote. They are doing very good, especially in counties like Miami-Dade and Palm Beach, where they're actually winning the in-person early vote, which is huge. So we'll have to really wait and see. Democrats do lead the early vote as is expected because most Republicans are going to be voting on Election Day. But it would be funny if Joe Biden is cannibalizing all of the votes to be sent through absentee ballots and Democrats cannot hit their target. But Donald Trump is still out there. He's still out there campaigning. He's hitting Biden, and he's got the momentum down the stretch. That could help prepare them to victory, and Trump would have done 4D chess in that case by making all of the Democrats vote by mail early, so he'll have time to get his base out to win on Election Day. He knows where he's standing in this case. So very, very interesting stuff out of the state of Florida, very interesting stuff out of the state of New Mexico, which is not really a swing state, but a lot of people apparently say that they want to change their votes, and I wonder why it is. I think it might have something to do with the fact that they are a very big oil state. You look at Texas, you look at Pennsylvania, it's going to be a lot harder for Biden to win these states when he is pushing an anti-oil message. You even look at Montana, where you have a contested Senate race there. The oil comments definitely hurt Biden there at the top of the ticket. Down the ticket, they could easily hurt Steve Bullock. Although I think Bullock was already out of the question with the court packing thing, but now it's really not looking good for him, and it's not really looking that good for Democrats. So again, we'll have to see, but either way, you have Joe Biden coming out and admitting that Donald Trump won the debate against him, all but verbatim. That doesn't play out well for you. He's admitting defeat. His campaign is running around. They're in shambles. And it's going to take a lot for Joe Biden to get his campaign together in order to win on Election Day, because he can't relate to the people in the only state he's really contested a whole lot, which is Pennsylvania. And it's sad because a lot of people rely on those jobs, and they're not going to be coming out and voting for Joe Biden. That's just the deal on that situation. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media, become a member, donate to the Patreon, or subscribe. Star links in description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.